Hey Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome to today's readings. Now, the energy at the time of doing these readings is very, very pure. The veil is thin. And so today we are asking about a past life revelation, something you need to know to help you to create a breakthrough. We have 3 amazing cards to choose from to find your pile or piles. Sometimes it's more than one. I'm going to draw some tokens as well to assist you in that finding of the right pile. And in a moment, I will also ask the universe to see which pile or piles are showing up for you today. So, firstly, beautiful souls, thank you for being here. It's an honour to be connected with you all. It really, really is. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so, so much for all of your beautiful comments and support of me and support of one another. And, so welcome back if you are returning. And if you're new, welcome. It is really, really amazing to be connecting with absolutely every one of you. And if you're brand new, just check out some of the comments and you'll see the kind of people who are part of this community. It's a very, very magical space at this time of profound evolution. This is a timeless reading, so you could be coming to it at the moment of my uploading it, or you might be coming to it in 3 weeks' time, 6 months' time, 3 years' time. It's a timeless reading. If you have been drawn to this reading, then it is right for you right now. There is almost certainly a message or messages for you. So let me show you the cards in more detail. Now, these beautiful cards actually do have writing on the reverse of them, but I'm not going to read that to you now. I will read it to you in the reading. So this is the image for pile 1. This is the image for pile 2. And this is the image for pile 3. Stunningly beautiful cards. The messages are absolutely amazing on the reverse as well. And your tokens for pile 1. You have... I am struggling to see what that is. Let me put my glasses on. Bear with me. Right, okay, this is me being wonderfully human. Putting my glasses on. Okay, I got it. Okay. Oh, look at this. I think this is the finger of God. Let me show this to you and see if I can get the camera to focus on it so you can see it clearly. I hope that's showing. Yeah, this is the finger of God. Can you see the finger pointing? Wow, that's pretty monumentally huge. Okay, pile 2. How exciting. Okay, you have a moon for pile 2. Also the numbers, this is number 18 and this was number 83, if that's relevant to you. And then we have a bag of dollars with the number 94. This is for pile 3. So I'm just going to put that there. Okay, so where shall I place that? Somewhere so you can sort of see it. I'll put it up there, I think. It's almost like got these beautiful angel wings. I'll put it there so you can see really, hopefully clearly. Now, my beautiful souls, I'm going to leave the video running for a few moments longer just to give you a little bit more time if you're wanting to just sit with your intuition. Let me just make sure the camera is now properly focused on them down there. And I'm then going to, and I'll put it in a separate timestamp, ask the universe which pile or piles are being suggested today. And then I will see you in the readings. Thank you so, so much for being here. Okay, let's now ask the universe to reveal which pile or piles are suggested for today. So this is my website, the Moon Magic Master Tarot website. It's where you can find my tarot course, which, by the way, is currently half price during Eclipse season. And you can come here actually and find a pile if you're ever needing that guidance, or indeed you can also find a reading as well. But we're just going to ask for a pile or piles, whatever is shown up. Pile 2. Pile 2 is the let the universe find the right reading for you answer today. Beautiful souls, I will see you in the readings in just a moment. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we are asking for a revelation about a past life that will bring you a breakthrough. Now we have this finger of God. Very interesting that I needed to put my glasses on to see it, because I almost feel like, what might that be saying about the reading? I've needed to put my glasses on. I've had to see something, because this person looks like they are putting their hands up and sort of saying almost like stop or no or don't continue. I don't yet know what we're going to see, but I'm finding it very interesting. He's also very elevated. So I wonder if this is one of your spirit guides, or even a connection to your higher self, or maybe even in a past life. Gosh, I wonder if this is a spirit guide from a past life, someone who's walked with you before. With the white face painting here, this could be somebody who's walked with you before. Actually, do you know, before I draw any more cards, let's read what it says on the reverse of the card. Vision. I'm going to put my glasses on again just to make sure I can read it properly for you. I'm at that sort of on-off stage, which is frustrating. So you have card number 16, Vision. Heaven is where you find it. Now, this is the north point of the medicine wheel. And it says, the question is no longer how did we get here and why, but where do we go and how? We are placed on the path of life to experience, interact, and be challenged by its dangers. Paradise is not a place, but a state of mind. We must heed the advice to stop and smell the roses. For it is possible that in our fervour to search for the elusive, we sacrifice our Garden of Eden for one tree. It is not so much in what you see, but the way in which you see it. Are you flying above your life, unaware of your true reality? The feathers you hold are not your own. They are a gift that must be returned one day. Like the dream catcher and the medicine wheel, they hold change. New colours become brilliant and luminous as you journey, and you wear the feathers of distinction, the mark of a seasoned, soulful traveller. Your hands reach out to hold back illusion. Heaven is before you, your dreams are coming true. Wow, this is interesting, isn't it? Your hands reach out to hold back illusion. I'm putting on my glasses to read this card, but I also had to put them on to see the finger of God here. I had to see beyond an illusion. I had to see something clearly. I wonder what this reading is going to reveal to you. Okay, I'm seeing this one here. Success. Now, this is also about success. And look at the way he's looking through a telescope. Personal or professional achievement. Okay. I think this may be to do with some aspect of yourself that you are not seeing clearly, your ability to see yourself. And maybe it's connected. The past life revolution is what... Revolution, isn't that interesting? Revelation, but revolution is what we're interested in. I wonder if you have been a revolutionary, whether you were held back previously in a past life. Okay, I think we'll have those three. You have begin again. You have self-sacrifice. And now you have unveil. Okay. Let me see if I can move our cards. I'm going to move our little candle along a bit. move these along so we can get everything in. Yes, we can. Brilliant. Let's put those right up there. Okay. The veil is thin. This is, though, I think about seeing through the veil of illusion. I think something happened in a past life where you actually did self-sacrifice. You sacrificed yourself for something, or you were even sacrificed. You could have been sacrificed for your gifts. Under the water, it's very interesting. I don't know how this was in other areas of the world, but in the UK here, where I live, people who were very, very gifted were ducked under the water. And if they didn't drown, I mean, it was a lose-lose situation. It was deemed that if they were a witch, if they were deemed that their gifts meant that they were a witch, they would be ducked underwater. And if they died, basically, it would be deemed that they were in fact innocent after all. But if they lived, it would be deemed that they were in fact therefore a witch because they couldn't have survived it. So then they'd be burnt at the stake. I mean, it really was a lose-lose. But I sort of feel there's something here about being sacrificed or self-sacrifice. And I feel as though you are being asked to really now begin again, but with whole new horizons opening for you, to see through the veil, to not hold yourself back. It goes back almost to some level of almost not exactly fear of success. For some of you, it's fear of being you. As if somehow, if you are you, if you step into your own amazingness, your own brilliance, your own success, somehow it is as though there is fear attached to it, as if you could genuinely be threatened. And also, I think there's some residue of the past life where you recognize that if you are successful, that other people feel threatened by you. And that doesn't mean you are a threat, not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. It's not suggesting that you are in any way threatening, but it is saying people are threatened by your success, perhaps because you show them who they could be. You know, people often don't step up, and then when somebody comes along who does, it feels threatening for them. Or if you are doing something that's really very innovative or very different, or you uphold some values that somebody else isn't stepping up into. And the threat is that just by being you, you sort of expose those differences. This is about you stepping up into success, seeing through the illusion. Also, this card has an element in its energy, I think, of it's the stopping and smelling the roses that's coming, of not rushing to your success. Because sometimes, again, if we are fearful that somehow success will be taken away or it will be sabotaged, instead of stopping and smelling the roses along the way and enjoying success, we can race on to the next and to the next. So I think there is something here about truly owning your capacity for personal or professional achievement, whatever that would be for you. You know, I don't know your individual circumstances, but my goodness me, now is the time. I feel like with the finger of God, there is a real opportunity with Begin Again here for you. Focus, yes. Okay, now this is the Two of Wands in a traditional pack. But look at the owl's eyes. This is all about seeing through the illusion and really, really focusing on, there is something in your world that you would personally like to achieve. And if there isn't, it may be that for whatever reason, this is not quite, this might not be the right reading for you. Okay, so let's have a check-in as well. But I feel this is about seeing through the illusion, but I do feel there is something that you personally want to achieve. And I think now is the moment, the finger of God. I think now is literally the moment that you can actually achieve that. You can rise into it. Perhaps part of that is to let go of the residue of fear in whatever way it's showing up. But the past life revelation is that you have been persecuted, or you had to self-sacrifice. You may even have given up something of your own gifts in order to support someone else. For some of you, very interesting with this learned man here. I think some of you also may have been an extraordinary person, but I mean, I'm going to give you an example of the energy that's coming through, but I'm kind of seeing like a young woman in a household where you might have done all of the work, but a man took the credit for it. Something like perhaps you had the most brilliant mind. You could have been, I don't know, like an astrologer, a stargazer. It would be like a young woman discovering a comet, but she's just the maid in a household, and so the man of the house takes the credit for it. It's like somehow something of your gifts couldn't be owned. And this is the kind of stuff that you're needing to have ownership. Take ownership and take credit for yourself. It may be that there are patterns in your life where you still honour other people, which of course you should do so, but you don't necessarily take an ownership of your real true contribution. I'm seeing these 3 cards and this one coming through and these as well. You have the Ace of Pentacles. Own your own potential. Look at this beautiful roots underground. Perhaps you haven't really shown your talents or really put them out in the world. We have Labour of Love. This is the 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, I think this is, for most of you, this is a career or a something to do with work, to do with, it's more likely to be professional achievement. But it could be, you know, whatever we see with the 8 of Pentacles, it indicates that if you work at something, you can really bring it to fruition. Then you have the card of Liberation. This is the card of Judgment. It's like an awakening. And it's liberation. This reading is coming today to liberate you from a past life residue that has stopped you from feeling as though you can truly step up. And it's like take credit for yourself. Own your own achievements. In a personal way, that's very big in this reading. Look at the turning point of you coming out of the woods into the open. Wisdom. Own your own wisdom. This is the card of the World in a traditional deck. And then the card of Order. This is the card of the Emperor in a traditional deck, which is about your own sovereignty and your own leadership. Okay, pile 1, your message could not be clearer. You are absolutely at a turning point when there is something that you really wish to bring to fruition or to put into the world or even to go out and do, whatever it is. This is a time for you not to be held back or to hand your success or your achievements to someone else. By all means, if you've learned from someone, fabulous, honour that learning. But honour your own work as well. Stop and smell the roses. And in this instance, actually, I think the roses is you. I think this is owning your own achievements. I think some of you have worked solidly to be where you are, but you might be the kind of person who diminishes that. If someone says, wow, that's absolutely amazing, you immediately sort of defer to somebody else or defer to, oh, well, that's because I had such a good teacher. I'm sure you did. How amazing. But own your own success. This is all about ownership of your own success. Removing the veil where you remain in the background. Liberate yourself from anything that says, I can't be seen. This is truly stepping up into your own sovereignty. I'm having an undying urge to draw some more cards from this deck, so I'm going to move these down a tiny bit and draw a couple more for you. May we kindly ask, because this is a turning point, the real biggie is the past life revelation. That I genuinely, the biggest thing that's coming through is that you acquiesced your success to someone else, or you were obliged to. Like being a woman and you can't write in your own name, and that's how it used to be. It's got this flavour that's still come with you, or a fear of being seen, or success if you attempt it will create a crisis, or it'll be taken away from you. It's got this kind of flavour. The finger of God is pointing at you. It's time to begin. This is like a real moment where you can rise and be seen. Some of you could have been a shaman in a previous life, and you might be in touch with that shamanic information. And in a way, previously, whilst you might have been revered within your tribe or your tribal pathway, you might have then been persecuted, targeted. In fact, actually, that reminds me of what's known as a shamanic death, actually, which is where somebody is outcast. Somebody's really put down, denigrated, outcast, and they go through this kind of birth, almost rebirth, where in a very singular way they have found themselves outcast, pushed out, and then they are rebirthed. And when they begin to really step up and shine, the very people that used to outcast them revere them. It's like a rite of passage, actually. Very interesting. And I feel you are almost in a rite of passage right now. A rite of passage of awakening where you absolutely take ownership of who you are. Look at this. We've got stubbornness. Look at the bull running forwards. And you have dream weaving. Wow. Okay. Gosh, that's stunning. Beautiful cards. Right, okay. See what I mean by having my glasses on and off, but I think there's something about that, really seeing. I almost feel I've got to keep putting them on to read the cards for you. I need to keep putting my glasses on to see the reality of this. I think you need to look through a telescope and really take a good look at how amazing you are. I really, really do. Dream weaving. Believe in your dreams. Now is not the time to be in any way stuck. Also, the very first message that came through with this card, when I saw this figure holding up their hands, stop. It's not just stop and smell the roses. It's stop and kind of, just with this bull here, I feel like don't put yourself in the line of fire is coming through for some of you. Or don't assume that you'll be in the line of fire. Don't assume that you can't handle what might come with success. I mean, with stubbornness, it could be that there are some lingering thinking patterns, right? And this is really rise above them. What we are being shown here from a past life is that you have absolutely either been forced to or acquiesce any form of success in some area of your world. And this is now a time to literally almost reclaim it. I think you have profound vision and the ability to really establish something significant of yourself in the world, whatever that would be for you. And now is the time. It's like the divine order. Now is the time to really step up into your own sovereignty, own your own wisdom, own your own amazingness. The turning point is now. This is what the energy is about. It's very interesting because at the time of doing this reading, we are in eclipse season. And eclipse season is, which is one of the reasons I'm doing these readings, eclipse season opens a portal where we can release the past, including past lives. I should also just add, with eclipse season, while we are in eclipse season, my tarot course in celebration of eclipse season is half price. So I do this every now and then. If you would like to jump on board, learn to read the cards, and potentially even work professionally, it's a whole project that I'm involved in training people, not just teaching you how to read the cards, but teaching you how to read the cards with an added dimension of counselling and therapy knowledge. And my readers work within an ethical framework. It's a very, very in-depth process of soul evolution. If you're interested in it, do check it out. I'll make sure there's a link both in the comments and also in the description below. But this is a time for you to weave your dreams, and for some of you even to unveil something as well. Yeah, maybe you have an idea, or you've been working on something and you've been postponing bringing it out. You've been working not exactly in the dark, but maybe there is something, and this is telling you that now is the time to unveil it. Whether this is unveiling you or unveiling something, this is the time to be unveiling and putting it out there, or putting you out there, owning your absolute right and entitlement to stand where you are, and the hard work that you have put in to be where you are today. The finger of God is pointing at you. It's time for a new beginning. And I think your dreams genuinely can emerge. There's such an honouring, though, here of your wisdom, of what you can truly, truly bring forth of yourself, or of something that is so personal to you. A bit like me and my tarot course in a way. But, it's very personal to me. There's something that's got a real personal flavour to you in this reading, and it's time to unveil it. It's time to unveil you. Pile 1, this is your reading. It is such an honour to be connected with you all. I am sending you so much love. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of the Moon Magic community here on YouTube, and thank you for all the comments you make. It is just amazing to be connected with you all. Tons and tons of love. Pile 2, welcome to your reading. You have the moon and this amazing card. Now, we're finding out about a past life, a revelation, something you need to know to help you to create a breakthrough in something. I'm very conscious that this person is holding an egg that has just broken open. It's like something is hatching in his hands. And what seems to have hatched out is a butterfly. Let's read on the reverse. Prayer. Okay, card number 4. I'm going to put my glasses back on. I am definitely in that on-off phase of glasses. Okay, prayer. Petitioning the Supreme Court. This is interesting. This is the south of the medicine wheel. Prayer is a petition. You are asking for something, and this desire gives birth, the egg, to hope, the butterfly. You direct this request to a greater power, the Creator, knowing that you might not get what you want, but get what you need. Move into a cocoon of silence and be still. Then offer your prayer. Just as a flower blooms and the fragrance is released, joy finds you and you are released like a butterfly in beauty and freedom. You are being initiated and your choice is which gateway to enter. Wow, that's pretty powerful. Okay, let's see what your cards are showing. Now, we will draw more. Let's look at your oracle cards first. You have self-doubt. Oh my goodness me, but look at these older people here. Feelings of inadequacy. Gosh, this is about releasing you from self-doubt. I feel like there's like a double message with these older grandparents here. I do think for some of you, you may have come from quite a harsh world. Quite a harsh world, quite stern people. But I think something is going back to a past life where, gosh, I think it was very strict, very rigid in a past life. And something of that may even have been reenacted in this lifetime, or indeed within your family lineage. What else do we have here? You have dream weaving. Now this came through in pile 1, so if you were drawn to pile 1, there could be a message there for you. Gosh, so did this. This is remarkable, but in a different order, completely different order. Begin again. I am seeing this, and also I'm going to take these two as well. I think it's 3. Well, goodness me. Wow. What do we have here? Past trauma. Okay, let's put these up. Then you have illusion. Then you have the Morrigan. Gosh, there's 4. There's all these cards, more cards than I even realised that you had. Okay, we have illusion. We have the Morrigan. You have blessings. And you have communication. Okay, how can we get all your cards in? Wow, there's so many coming through here for you. Bear with me. I'm actually just going to see if I can move the camera out or just move your cards around so we can see everything. Okay, I've moved things around a little bit. Pile 2, I'm actually going to read to you about the Morrigan because I feel that this is almost like a really central energy that has relevance to what's happened previously in a past life and what maybe is with you now. So the Morrigan is an Irish goddess, but let me read to you. The Morrigan is the card of fight. The Morrigan is a fierce Irish goddess associated with war, prophecy and fate. A shapeshifter, she was said to stir up war and then choose who would live or die. Her ravens represent transformation, vision and the courage to face the unknown. But this card says the message really is you need to fight for what you want. Don't behave in a way that makes you feel ashamed of yourself, but do fight fire with fire. The Morrigan is aligned with Aries energy and is calling you to rise above your fears. It's time for bold action. Gaze into the murky depths of self-doubt. Isn't that interesting? You have the card of self-doubt. Fear of failure or hesitation. They are what is keeping you from fulfilling your true potential now. Once you get through that, you can get to the other side of your desires and achieve your goals. Remember that real courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. That, I think, is perhaps the most important thing. Real courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. You know, the Morrigan energy stirs up fear and confusion. So any chaos in your life now is to draw your attention to what needs to change and the very reason why you asked your question or drew this card. Resist and clear limiting beliefs that tell you you're not strong enough, not worthy enough, or not ready. Get ready to fight if you have to, which, could feel daunting for some of you. I'm very conscious of that. What I think we have here, though, is an opportunity right now to really move beyond some sort of fear of something, of having, for some of you, it might be about standing up and defending yourself. With blessings and illusion, I think that potentially, and I wouldn't want to diminish any situation that you're in, but I think it is possible that your fear of something not working out or your fear of stepping up and defending yourself is not as big as you think it is, as it were. It's almost as though, and I think that's the breakthrough here that's being offered I think in a past life, I think quite genuinely, you have experienced life and death situations. And it may even be that in your current life, some of you may have had a near-death experience. But I think there have been real life and death situations that have left a residue. It's what I would call past life post-traumatic stress, where there is a memory in you at a level of soul that is real life and death, a real life and death scenario. And as a consequence, I think you were in a situation where basically you could not defend yourself. It would be like, I don't know, in any kind of situation of genocide, for example, you would have been in a position where you simply could not defend yourself. There was no capacity to do so. And that's the key here. It's now recognizing that fear, the depth of the fear that you feel, is a memory of the past. It's a legacy of the past. Now, I'm not saying your current situation isn't real, and there may be genuine fear around having to step up and defend yourself, or step forward in some way to kind of fight your corner almost, I think, for some of you. But you're not in the situation that's life and death, whereas I think because you've experienced in a past life literally a life and death situation where you couldn't do anything, I think it has, where you genuinely were completely powerless. I think the residue, the memory of that is being held and holding you back, or limiting you from being able to receive the blessings that are coming to you. Because we have communication, I actually think you are in a position where you can communicate clearly, and the fear that you're feeling about communicating, about stating your perspective or having a voice, is, I think you can actually communicate clearly, and the illusion will be revealed. And it's a bit like you coming out of that cocoon, coming out, hatching from the egg. And we have a crescent moon, which is interesting. Crescent moons are about beginnings, about getting started. I think there is a situation around you, and the breakthrough is recognizing that this is not a life and death kind of thing, and that you can actually communicate and state your position clearly, and that is fine. And it won't be catastrophic. I think there's a fear that it will be. And post-traumatic stress, whether it's past life post-traumatic stress or within your current lifetime, post-traumatic stress is very powerful, because we are effectively experiencing a current situation through the lens of almost like the emotional enormity of what took place, the reality. Even our bodies react with post-traumatic stress. You get a physical response to something that's really big. And I think you have experienced real life and death sort of scenarios, complete and utter disempowerment. And as a consequence, it's as though it can lock you in fear if you feel as though you're in a position where you have to sort of step up and defend yourself. And I think this is what the breakthrough is about at this moment in time. It's to recognise that it is not life and death where you are. We've got grief. Okay. This is the Ten of Swords in a traditional pack, but interesting because the Ten of Swords marks a point of a conclusion to something, and you can walk forwards and move forwards, move on. Very interesting. We have a poppy as well, because actually this is taking me to war. When we think of I believe it was after the First World War, where the poppies grew through on the battlefield. Again, there is no capacity to defend yourself if you die on the battlefield. There's something of this. Goodness me, wow. But it's really, really stayed with you. We have the Eight of Pentacles in a traditional pack, labour of love. Look at this. You can now flourish. This is such an acknowledgement and a validation of healing. This is remarkable, I have to say, because both of these cards, the Ace of Pentacles in a traditional pack, Roots. These both came out in pile 1, as did these 2 cards. Not the others, but nevertheless. So, yeah, do check out pile 1 if you were drawn to it. I think you are in a position where you can anchor. Some of you may actually have walked away from situations previously rather than deal with a confrontation. Now, there is nothing wrong with being what I would call conflict averse. I myself am very conflict averse. But I do think you can handle something here with clear communication. You have a card of competition. This is the 5 of Wands in a traditional pack. Okay, let me see. How can I move these? I think I'll move these along and we'll draw more here. Okay. With the 5 of Wands, the competition, look at these 2 kites glaring at each other. I suspect there is a situation where somebody possibly is putting you in a position where you have found yourself in a position with someone where you do feel like you're having to sort of defend yourself. I think that's the energy and essence around you. You have waking up. Now, this is the Hanged Man in a traditional pack. I think you can transform this. I really do. I think you can transform this. You have honesty. Look at that. And what do we have? An egg. Look at the egg. I think an honest conversation can really... Look at that. You have the card of flow. An honest conversation can move this forwards. Honest conversation, honest communication, however you communicate, whether you write to somebody or you do something. Maybe you just have to be really honest with yourself. Sometimes if you don't think you can resolve something with someone, you still need to acknowledge something and release the trauma. What we can write, what I would call a letter not to send. When you write a letter and you release something. I actually do think you can come through this. This is about acknowledging your choices, your ability to communicate clearly. You have dance. This is the 4 of Wands, which is a card of absolute celebration, which is gorgeous. I think you'll be surprised how easy it will be for you in a certain circumstance to be able, through clearly voicing your perspective, with high integrity, not putting anybody else down, but I think in voicing your perspective with high integrity, I think a resolution can be found, and that is the breakthrough, because this could well be a situation where you are, when we go over and over something, and look at your final card. Look at the gift, the blessing being shown here. This is the card of change. This is the Wheel of Fortune. But look at this. It's the most stunning imagery here. Beautiful, beautiful pile 2. I do feel there is a circumstance around you where fear has sort of become entrapped in the dynamics. And it is to do with the harshness, I would venture to say cruelty, of a past life, or even you may even have experienced some cruelty, disempowerment within your current life. But there's definitely what I would call past life PTSD, and where you couldn't defend yourself. And in a way, this is part of the soul learning, which is not always easy, let's face it. But this is part of the soul learning where you can now realize that you don't have to fight to defend yourself. You can simply voice your position with openness and clarity. And you can, I think, transform your situation. if there's been a disappointment, even a heartbreak or something, conflict with somebody is definitely around, or a situation, even a conflict of interests. But the key here is literally be your authentic self. Voice things. Say how it is. And I think in saying how it is, don't doubt or feel that you can't have that voice. This is all about offering an opportunity for you to have that voice. And, even if you were to go your separate ways with somebody or decide to move in a different direction, maybe the blessing really is that if there's been a conflict or a challenge, that you can see that it is time for you to move in a different direction, in which case this might be about giving you permission to openly say, actually, I'm moving on, farewell. But one way or the other, I think it is completely appropriate for you to have your voice without any form of self-doubt, and really recognise that the depth of the emotion that I think you feel attached to this situation is connected to the depth of a previous experience in which you had zero power. And I do think for many of you it really was life and death. And it's as though that's come forward into this life, and that's what needs to be released. So you're free to just be you and communicate with clarity, to discover that things can flow, honesty does pay, communications can, bring about harmony. It's part of those learning curves here. So, pile 2, gosh, I think this may be your reading. Now, I am doing this in Eclipse season, which is a time when the veil is very thin, and the energy that's available to us to really learn about past lives is very, very, very wide open. So this is an amazing time to be working with these energetics. In celebration of Eclipse season, my tarot course is half price. Now, my readers work within an ethical framework. It's a very big course. I work with the sort of psychology and the depth that comes from my psychotherapy training and background. So it's a very different course. It's not a standard counselling course. But if any of you are interested in learning to read, but also would like a really in-depth experience, then do check it out, because during Eclipse season, it is half price. Beautiful souls, I am sending you so much love. I understand fully how challenging it can be to process past lives, and to process the residue of emotional trauma, to process any form of PTSD. It's something I have a lot of experience in, so I really get the challenges that are there, because it's such a powerful experience. But this is an opportunity for you to find that you can, in this lifetime now, do it differently. Beautiful souls, I am sending you all the love in the world. I'm going to be doing a community within my tarot course. I'll be doing a collective reading here connected to the next new moon. So watch this space. I'll be scheduling that soon. Obviously, if you come to this in 6 months' time, do check out my next collective reading, because I'm going to be doing them every month. People have really enjoyed them. It may be that we do, and in our community event within my tarot course community, we actually do some in-depth readings around past lives. I think it may be beneficial. Anyway, my beautiful souls, I am now thinking aloud. I am sending you all the love in the world. Look after you. And if you feel able to share, keep us posted in the comments. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. You have the bag of dollars. Wow. And this stunning card with these, I guess they're butterfly wings, but I really saw them as angel wings. Very interesting imagery here with this sort of egg that appears to have broken here, but a very large egg, and this beautiful flute with a butterfly on it. Let's have a look. Okay, so the message with this card is to do with harmony. I'll put my glasses on so I can read this to you properly. Okay. Music, the creation. This is the south of the medicine wheel. Sound, such as the Big Bang, is simply the movement of air, equivalent to breathing, an act of giving life. Creation. A handmade flute, a rattle with crystals, a sacred pipe and drum, nature's voice expressed through human instruments. Music rings the bells in your heart. It opens you to movement and joy. You are in transformation through creativity. Find the secret of meditation and inner harmony by being in an alert stillness. Wow. Okay. Feels like it's learning to listen, and we've got this bag of dollars. Okay, I'm now very curious. I'm not sure what messages are coming through just yet, pile 3, but let's see. What are we showing for pile 3? You have Archangel Uriel, passion and spirit connections. Okay. This is interesting. Your reading is very, very interesting indeed. Even that shield looks like a gong, almost. Thinking of sound and vibration. Okay, I'm actually also seeing this one, and also that one as well. Okay, let's see what we have. We can always draw more. You have self-sacrifice. This card came out in pile 1. You have illusion. This card came out in pile 2. Excuse me. You have break free. And you have inner critic. Okay. Right. I'm going to actually overlap these cards. I'm going to put them along. I would like to have them all in one row, I think, and I think we can do that if we overlap them a little bit like this. Yeah, that feels right. I think you are heavily, I think some of you have a major inner critic. Well, in fact, I think that is the kind of theme of this reading, to the point where for some of you, your inner critic might be more like an inner bully. Now, in my counselling practice, in my psychotherapy practice, this is something I used to work with a lot with people. And this is about freeing yourself from that. So there is clearly something connected to a previous life which has come with you and is in the way of you being able to, well, it's creating an inner critic. I think that you are someone who does a lot of soul searching, which is really beautiful. And I think you are prepared to do that deep inner work. But I think you do it too much. I think you look at yourself too much in the mirror, as it were. It is wonderful in any situation and completely appropriate to look at yourself and say, what did I do to contribute to this situation? And indeed, it's a source of empowerment to recognise what we ourselves did so that we don't do it again. But sometimes what can happen with that lovely quality of self-reflection is you dive in and you take responsibility for things that are not yours to carry. And that is what's coming through here. And somehow this has its origins in a past life, self-sacrifice. I think some of you may have been either like a monk or a nun or something along that, where you were in an order that involved profound self-sacrifice and what I would call constant inner soul searching. It reminds me of, there was a friary quite near to where I live. It's no longer there. There are the very some stone walls are still left, but that's it. And it's in on the edge of a beautiful piece of woodland, the Friary Woodlands. They're very gorgeous, beautiful river running through. But it was a silent sect where the monks lived in individual silent cells, and they were reliant upon people to come out and feed them effectively beyond, the things that they cultivated for themselves. But it was a completely solitary, silent existence where everything was about soul searching. And there's something of that here where I think you have in a past life engaged in something that was a very solitary spiritual pathway. And in some ways, there is this profoundly, as I said, profoundly fabulous element and energy of being somebody who is prepared to do that inner work, that self-reflection. But I think you take it to an extreme, and I think the extreme goes back to this past life, where you were literally immersed in the world of continual self-reflection and spiritual reflection. And actually, it's now time for you to break free from that. By all means, engage in self-reflection, but not to the point where you carry responsibility for others. I think you're so involved in it that, I think you carry more than your fair share. That's definitely coming through. I'm still not sure what the dollars are about. It may be as well that maybe you can't, or you have struggled, or you criticize yourself if you get paid, for example, for your spiritual gifts. Very interesting, actually. Very, 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 very dear and close friend of mine. Very much my soul sister, or one of my soul sisters, is involved in a new career pathway, which involves healing work, and she is very reticent to accept any finances from anyone that comes forward in need of healing, and yet, and she feels very much as though she's just the channel for that healing, and she certainly is an extraordinary channel for that healing. But it's interesting because I think, well, how are you going to earn a living if you are shifting from one career pathway to another? You still need to look after you. And, I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't be giving. It's a wonderful pathway to give and to trust that, almost a bit like the monks in their solitary confinements, that people will bring them food. But there's something here about not being afraid to use your gifts. I remember even in my own therapeutic and counselling training, being given sort of training about charging, where, if you go into private practice, needing to still charge, and how difficult it is if somebody is is struggling emotionally or psychologically. But the recognition that we are also human with everyday lives and we have bills to pay. And if you continually give without any return, if we think of money not as a bag of dollars, because this is just not, I couldn't work out where does that sit. It just doesn't feel right, a bag of dollars here. But I think it's if you think of money as an energetic currency, then actually if you are giving, you also need to receive. And so it's not simply about money. But it is about how that works. How is there a trade-off so that you are not always self-sacrificing? And there's something around this whereby it's about enabling yourself to receive, whether it's financially or energetically, and not get tangled in circumstances. You could even be someone who attracts people who come into your world, who sees that you have the most beautiful, kind and lovely heart, and therefore they kind of know they can basically receive from you and not give very much back, and that's not acceptable. So this is what we're kind of seeing here. Now, let me draw your tarot cards. Gosh, a lot coming through in your reading, pile 3. Harmony. Harmony comes from balance. Being in mutually giving and receiving relationships. This is the 3 of Cups in a traditional deck of cards. You have determination. Okay, this is the Knight of Swords in a traditional deck. You have integrity. Ah, this is lovely. You have understanding. Okay, integrity is the card of the King of Wands in a traditional deck. The card of Understanding is the card of, where are we? I'm just my numerals, my Roman numerals. This is 17. So this is the Star, of course. There it is. This is the Star card in a traditional deck. You have the card of the Lovers, which is all about relationships, all about recognizing our choices, recognizing maturity of choice, knowing when to give, but also knowing when to receive. You have the card of Competition, Five of Wands. You have Fear, the Nine of Swords, and Transitioning, which is the card, this is the Death card, actually, in a traditional pack. Okay, let's move these along, make sure we've got this whole row in view for you. I think your message is really clear. I think we've gone into a little bit of the past life. I truly think you've walked a pathway of profound spirituality, in a very, very, very ultra self-sacrificing way in a past life. And it's almost as though for you to now walk your spiritual pathway and to have your family life, to earn money, doing what, offering healing work, it is as though you feel as though there's a conflict of interest. Even though I think logically, with the Knight here of Swords, determination, I think logically you know that it is absolutely perfectly fine. You have a life, and you have a human life and bills to pay and all sorts of things to have, but somewhere in you there is this sort of residue that says, but if I really should be just giving. And there is this is the moment when you are being supported to follow your passion, to resonate with the high vibration of healing, of love, of understanding, of integrity, but not be fearful of honouring the fact that you have needs as well, and that your needs are equal to those of the people that you support. You have the right to put yourself in an equal position. It's not about competition, who earns the most. And as I said, if this is an energetic currency, you may be experiencing some situations and relationships where you are giving more than you're receiving. And this is about bringing this back into balance. Even the Death card of Transitioning shows a balance. This wonderful infinity symbol. I think this is all about your relationships, and whether this is a personal relationship in the here and now, or it is your relationship to a group or to your work or something. This is about bringing balance back into your life. You don't have to self-sacrifice yourself, and you don't have to criticize yourself. I also think for some of you, you may even potentially have had around you or had experiences of people who kind of do criticize you if you're not constantly giving. Like if you were to say, I'm really sorry, I need to take a rain check, I'm not feeling great, I need to look after myself, that they might give you a really hard time. And actually, that's not equal. Because I think if they needed to take a rain check, you'd be like, yeah, of course, look after you. And yet when it's the other way around, it's almost like there's criticism and judgment, but you take it on as if, you're in the wrong for making choices that are right for you. And this is the essence of your reading, whether the money, the dollars, is because this is a bag full of dollars. Now, whether that is full of an energetic currency of love, of self-respect, self-care, or whether it's actual money that you charge for something, I feel that there is, as I said, we can see where the past life connection is, because I think it was ultra self-sacrifice. And possibly that came with an energy that said if you don't, somehow almost like a perception of there is retribution if I don't know, if almost as if it would be deemed your fault if if food didn't show up and you're in your little cell waiting for people to be generous enough to bring you food and it didn't arrive, that it would be that there's fear attached to this. Somehow as if you've got it wrong, like an interpretation that if something doesn't run well, as I said, it's your fault. There's something very big about the way that you carry way more responsibility than is yours to carry. And it makes you quite susceptible to people who will take more than they will give, or who might even behave badly and then put it on you. And you're like, oh gosh, what can I do to put this right? And so this is very much about asking you to see through that illusion and to break free of this pattern of doing more than your fair share, or perceiving that you are the one that's always in the wrong, or taking on responsibility for things that are not yours to carry, so that energetically you can fill yourself up and be a bag full rather than a bag empty. And this is what I think we're seeing here. But the past life route is very, very clear here, actually, my beautiful souls. It really, really is. And I think with this beautiful card of love, I mean, look how balanced this is, as opposed to it being, it's not a competition where if you have something, somebody else goes without. Actually, if you have plenty, the more your bag is full, the more you will have to offer. It's like that sort of jug of water. I used to talk about this with my counselling clients sometimes. It's like if you are a jug of water and you're constantly filling up everybody else's cups, eventually you're going to run out. You need to fill up your own jug. And the more full your jug is, the more you have to give. So this should also be, it's the same if we think of money as an energetic currency. I mean, sometimes it's used very destructively, but it can also be used very amazingly. And if money is in the hands of somebody who is fantastic and amazing, then lots of fantastic and amazing things will result from it. Whereas if it's in the hands of somebody who's, ruthless, then, it can be misused. The money isn't the issue, it's the hands that hold it, So I think this really is about asking you to take an ownership of your potentials, but not taking on things that aren't yours, and being balanced in every way. Literally fill yourself up so you will have more to give. Wow. Now, beautifully in harmony, we are currently at the time of uploading this reading in eclipse season. Just noticing this profound sort of energy of light from this star. Eclipse season really helps us to see through the veil, to see through the illusions, to receive massive downloads of information that help us to shift and break through patterns. Now, you might be coming to this in 6 months' time, but if you are coming to this now in eclipse season, you could even be coming to it in eclipse season at a later time, in another year even. But right now, at the time of uploading this, my tarot course is half price in celebration of eclipse season. So if you are interested in learning about the tarot, learning not just to read, but it's a huge course. It's about teaching people to read to a professional level if they want to, go on and read professionally. My readers work with an ethical framework. I'm really integrating counselling and psychotherapy, ethics into our ways of reading. And ethics and integrity are all about a spiritual pathway, because that's what holds a high vibration. So it's a very interesting course. It's very different to most tarot courses, although we do the basics as well. So it really is a journey of evolution for anyone that really would like to learn and to grow. So if that's of interest to you during eclipse season, it is half price. So do seize the moment if that's something you'd like to check in on. Pile 3, I think you have walked an extraordinary pathway. I think highly likely to have walked an extraordinary pathway, not only in previous lives, but in this life. And in a way, now is a time to be able to honour your spiritual pathway whilst also receiving at the same time. Pile 3, I am sending you the biggest hug ever. If you feel able to keep us posted in the comments, it would be really wonderful to hear from you. Tons and tons of love.